Welcome back to another vlog. After horrendous winds and pouring rain, hard frosty morning, beautiful blue sky, and we're just walking in the woods down towards the canal at a place called Stoke Bruin, which is quite a famous part of the canal, near where we used to live. But now, I can't believe it, we've lived in our new village for sort of 3 years or so. Jackie's probably going to tell me 4, but yeah, it might be 4, I don't know. But time flies, but it's sort of a place where we've walked 1,000 times with the dogs and with the kids when they were little. Blue tits and great tits are singing, the robins are singing. There's that tease of spring in the air again after all the gloomy greyness and wind and rain. Despite the frosty start, the blue sky, the sunshine, and the trigger for a lot of nature in general, the lengthening days. Just a little tease of spring, but you never know. February could be spring, the new spring, or it could be the rainy season that it normally is now. We shall see. Catch you later in the vlog. Okay, so this week doing a bit more on the water monitor enclosure. So we've got the upper and lower trim put on there where the glass runners are going to go. Whether it's glass or acrylic, I'm not sure. Quite big. Acrylic could be a lot lighter for sliding doors. Glass doesn't scratch, acrylic does. Monitor lizards have very sharp claws. If it was more, it is quite warm in the reptile room. They do like humidity. I was toying with the idea of mesh, open mesh fronts, but going with a sealed sort of glass or acrylic. We've still got some ventilation to put up in here, down here, so we just get a bit of flow. There's no cold draft, so it's not cold in the room, but a bit of airflow, or I think we're going to get a stagnant air pooling in the bottom there. So some lower vents, higher vents. The heat will draw that air up and through. So we put 2 coats of varnish on there now. Clear varnish, because I quite like the knotty wood effect. I'm going to leave it at 2 coats. They're quite thick coats. So electric points, ventilation next, and then we can fit it out. We need a decent bath that we can have an outside drain point and a tap to make emptying it easy. These things are great because they're not too messy in their enclosures, because they do their poo in their baths, but that means once a day, sometimes once every other day, but you're going to be draining that bath down. You need to make it easy on yourself. At the moment, I can lift out the bath, tip it out, refresh. It's getting bigger, the bath's getting bigger. That won't be a practical option. But the shell's there, varnished and sealed. We'll get some vents in, possibly just varnish around the vent holes we're going to cut and so on, but it's coming along. So you can see here the grade female false water cobra really benefiting now from upping the temperatures, getting some heat in and some lighting. It actually has UV lighting in there, but they don't need it at all. I do like a fluorescent light, and then you've got this guy up here, still has nothing. So my next job now is to go over to work and pick up him a light fitting. All coming along in there, all coming along. Changing times, of course. Spring is on its way. So I love being near water, especially a river in the summer, running clear, when you can see all the different water weeds and plants and all the different life, sort of almost like an aquarium or a garden pond. But canals are different. You do get stretches, forgotten stretches that are just like that, but a lot of them, and certainly this one, are almost perennially thick and cloudy. Perfect habitat for things like bream, fish that are feeding on the silty bed. but with water runoff into the canal on rainy weather like this, flood water, but especially boat traffic constantly stirring up the silty bottom. It's kind of full of life. It's not pollution or that killing things off, taking out the oxygen. It's full of fish life in here. Zander especially, pipe perch hunting with their really low level vision, massive eyes, nocturnal vision. They thrive in this sort of murky water. But as a, what are you doing? As a human looking in, fascinated by water life, without a fishing rod, a little bit boring because it just looks gloomy, really. Come in. Oh, it keeps lighting up. So the best tiler in the world. He's done a really good job, and it isn't finished, so don't you worry. This guy's immaculate, and it's going to look great when it's done. Really good job, really tight cutting, really nice. So things are coming along indoors, hardly nature boy, but of course now we've got showers and shower screens to fit. But things are coming along in other aspects.
I know. Wait a minute. Wait. Bad. Bad.
So any country man or woman, certainly for me, ferreting over the years and ferreting for the hawks in the olden days. Lords and ladies coming up in the hedgerow bottom, cookie pint, very much that early sign of spring and the growth and the regrowth and the wildflowers coming back to life. So we're just at the start of February and they're already looking very green and lush. Spring is springing. He needs to come out now, get in that new home. Look at the size of him. And then we can get this a real good scrub up. So my fire salamanders are home for the winter. Because although they were protected from frost and everything, one or two of them were really struggling weight-wise. They obviously weren't getting enough food or feeding well enough. But you can see now they're doing really well. They're indoors in the house, there's no heat in there. Yeah, they're strangely, they're out quite a bit and they're high up. Whether they're trying to get warm, get cool, get moist, I don't know. So we're doing more work on the little old sports car. Their go-to place to rot away and be written off is the chassis rails. And look what we've smashed through there. Much welding possibly needed. So I've been to a school today in Lincoln, and I've not been there before, and my superstar owl Crackerjack was absolutely rubbish. So he sort of made my job very hard because he's normally very good and dynamic. But Jackie's come for a ride because it was just a 1 hour talk, so 10:30 we were all finished. So we've been to a garden centre nearby and had a full English. And now we've just found a little nature reserve, kind of. We're near one. We're just having a walk along the dike here. What a beautiful day. The robins are singing. Sun's out. And we've been up since 4:30, so we're quite tired, but we'd make the most of being in another part of the country. We'll have a day out after the short school visit. Jump around, looks like they've got a healthy rabbit population here. There's loads of rabbit workings, unlike where we live. Well, Lincoln was very nice yesterday. We didn't pay to go round the cathedral further, around the sort of the city walls. You can sort of tour and look all around. A nice way to spend a little bit of time. A nice way to spend a bit of time when you've travelled so far for a relatively short day's work. Awe-inspiring cathedral. I just look at the construction. I'm just like, wow, how did they even do that? Very nice to go there. Home of the red arrows, really, all day long. Roaring red arrows, display flying, training. Every time I got my camera out to film them, they were kind of behind the building, so no footage at all. But very, very loud indeed. Today, back up to the Falconry Centre, and you can see the hellebores, the Christmas roses. These are more the wild type, which the bees do like. Snowdrops are out. I'll show you those in a second. Just listen. the woodpeckers are hammering away, marking out their territories too. See you in a minute. Young Henry's retraining has begun. Well, actually, not ended, but he's kind of there now. It took a few days to get his head into gear. What he's meant to be doing. His new plumage is looking not 100% brilliant, but pretty good, and an awful lot better than last year. His first year plumage, remember, he was a winter hatch bird, so sort of feathers developing when it was quite damp. Was a bit scrag-taggy. But nice to see him flying around. Bit of breeze today, which is nice, but nice to get him up in a real wind. They do love the wind. Harris looks soaring along a tree line. And have a look around. And we've introduced a dummy bunny this year. Remember, he's for displays and education, but he's got big boots to fill. My old Harris Nigel. And one thing he was good at in displays was a good dummy bunny run. When we're talking about what actual falconry is, the hunting side, what falconry is to the public. So Henry's kind of just getting to grips with that idea as well. He's doing okay. Doing it there. There he is. Henry, with all of his grown-up, I look touchy now because they're soaking wet, but with all his grown-up feathers. Still behaves like a noisy imprint, but not with that high-pitched scream of the juvenile first-year bird. Croaking, okay. Screaming, hard to put up with. Go on. So it's the start of February, and I'm just looking into the lizard enclosure outside, because there's a real warmth in the sun today, despite a hard frost this morning. And obviously through the acrylic front of the glass, if you like, it's warmer. And down there, oh, he's just run away. Was a little tiny spider running around, perfect food for them. So it shows there's natural food in here, and it also shows the warmth of the sun. He's definitely waking stuff up. Okay, so we're progressing. Got ventilation holes in down there, there's some down there. The whole pond area, lots more to do, including plumbing it in so it drains easily. But we have got some decor in. Trouble is with Asian water monitors, you need a fair bit of infrastructure. Possibility of being destructive, need a lot of heating, a lot of lighting, if you know what I mean. And that means it's hard to make it disappear if you want a really naturalistic setup. So it's a bit of a compromise. But remember, it's nearly all for free, literally. Lighting unit, had lying around for ages. Little hide to tuck into up there. All the wood, all the logs of wood, all lying around for free. Just a few bits of old corkbark I've got lying around in a box. Not offcuts, but higgledy-piggledy piece I don't need. Just to try and give it just little features of naturalisticness. These won't be here forever like this, or maybe they will, who knows. Both of these lying around for ages. Same with the lighting unit. So heating, the lighting, it's all stuff I've just had lying around for quite some time. So still, it has only cost silicone sealer and several coats of varnish for the woodwork. The whole woodwork, the cabinet, everything has been stuff I've already got that I've been given, or that's just been bought very many years ago. But it's starting to take shape. Plenty of walkways, testing the heating now. We've still got to buy the glass for the front doors. That's going to cost the biggest single cost of the whole build, believe it or not, just the glass front. Oh, and some substrate down below, a nice deep layer of substrate. But for sure, taking shape, looking good, and hopefully it won't be long before the guy's in there. But certainly I've got to plumb this in and make all of this disappear. Looks naff and plastic. How am I going to do that? If it works out how I plan, we'll wait and see. Oh, a bit of coir matting I had, just to have a bit of texture there as well. Still more to do.